Well, she's done. Well, not quite done. It's painted. I feel like I should be running some kind of UFC music and, you know, introducing this like a ring announcer. In this corner, from the beast from the east, the Joseph Stalin 7, weighing in at 48 tons. Ah! Yeah, okay. That didn't really work. Whatever. She's done. Trumpeter, 1/35th scale. Joseph Stalin 7. Built as a prototype, never went into full production. You know what? Hell with it. I built it as a full production tank. One of these is going to meet up with a Paper Panzer 46 or 47 or 48 or 52 or whatever. My model, I can do what I want with it. That was a fun kit. If you guys watched my build video, you can see it going together. And while I'm at it, let's do a quick shout out to a few guys that made some nice comments on my videos. Appreciate it, guys. Twisted Sniper from the UK. Colonel Reb Scale Models. Gentleman from Georgia. Atlanta, I believe. Norm from Ontario. Won't hold that against you, buddy. Red Dragon from Chicago. I hate the Blackhawks. Anyway, and Armor Empire from the UK. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Anyway, back to the monstrosity. She's painted up in Tamiya. I can't remember if it's deep green, dark green, or forest green. It's one of the greens. I didn't want to go with the Russian armor green from Vallejo, and I didn't really want to get into the olive drabs. I want to keep it into the more of the green as opposed to the olive. So that's just got the base coat. We threw some Duplicolor primer sealer on it first to give it a solid coat for all the some of the photo etch and all the rest of that. Followed that up with the Vallejo air quotes black primer, which is an awesome pre-coat. Don't think of it as a primer, think of it as a pre-coat. If you're going to try and sand it or look at it harshly, it'll fall off in chunks. So just think of it as a pre-shade, which I'm doing now. And the funny thing is that if you brush that stuff on, it's just as hard as a rock. You spray it on, it's garbage. So the decals here. The only thing that came with the trumpeter kit were these little red stars. Super nice decals. They snuggled down nice. They went really good. And the rest of these are really old Dragon kits from various other Soviet Russian tanks. The big 65, unfortunately, got a little bit. It's a little translucent, so it's almost yellow looking. It's not nearly as pure white as these other two. And don't ask me what that is, since I've forgotten all the Russian I knew. A couple of little marks there, registration marks, which pulled off some other things, and just a few other little odds and ends to make it look more like a production tank versus the prototype tank that this was in reality. I haven't done any weathering whatsoever to this kit. It's been shot with some Tamiya clear, ready for weathering, and it has had a black wash, and that's it. I don't even think I did the running gear on this side. Yeah, I did. I just haven't wiped it off. Summertime's here, spring's here, so modeling is going to take a bit of a slowdown. Actually, quite a bit of a slowdown. It's time to get out and climb some mountains and hit some firearms ranges and do all that kind of good stuff. And but as you can see, the decal snuggled down really nicely. You can still see a bit of the texture on the turret. I didn't get too crazy with texturing. I just thought I'd leave it more subtle than anything. I remember, if you guys watching, I think in part 2 I had just a hell of a time with the mantle around here. It looked like absolute crap when I built it, but a little bit of careful putty work and some sanding, it turned out not too shabby. Considering how rough looking it was when I was building it, I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. It's funny how if you just don't sweat things, they turn out usually pretty good. So there you have it, guys. I haven't weathered it, and because I don't know exactly where it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to go in a cityscape, if it's going to go in the mountains, in the boonies, in the bush, in the brush. And until I have a little bit better idea of exactly where it's going, I'm just going to have to leave it in the gloss until my weathering idea comes up. Get some freaking cat hairs. We got 2 cats, and they just make a mess. But the The tow cables were really nice, soft copper. They snuggled right down. They're excellent tow cables. You know, I don't know why everybody isn't offering this really nice copper tow cables like Trumpeter does. They're lovely. They're to scale. They look good. They weather up nice, and they hold their hold the position really well. The good old Soviet two-man saw, as you can see in just about every Soviet tank in World War II. And a lot of times I'll see guys paint these up green, but a lot of the pictures I have seen is this, it's in a natural bare metal, just like a regular saw, with wooden handles. So I've just done a little bit of beach on there, beach color for the wooden handles. And right there, and just in the corner of your screen right there is those rear-facing machine guns that I had such a horrible time with. There's also supposed to be 2 more rear-facing machine guns right there and right there, which I just I decided to delete. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the wrong way. There's supposed to be machine guns pointing out the front here on either side, but since I buggered up the top one so badly, I actually stole them off the bottom. I just, you know what, that's just going to be a mid-production deletion, because let's face it, we've got machine gun turrets, machine guns on the turret on both sides. So did we really need some more forward firing ones? No. Do we really need the rear firing ones? Probably not, but they're there. The 12.7 machine gun, really nicely done. They've done a really nice job of it, so I'm quite happy with it. It turned out well. It's just painted black, like I say. There's no weathering on it. We'll have to do a little bit, very subtle weathering on that, maybe some dirt and mud, but not a lot of wear marks, because there's really no reason for that to have ever seen much wear. Engine compartment's nicely done. The photo etch grills are really nicely done. Like I say, I got this one online, so I did save some money. I saved almost, I want to say 40, almost, it was almost half price if I recall. At least $40 cheaper online, having it shipped from Hong Kong than it was going out and buying it in my local hobby shop. And you know what, I like to support the local guys, but that's just wrong when it's that much of a markup. So, you know, there's a lot of typical Soviet stuff that you'll see from your you know, your IS and your KV series, like this transport stand for the big massive it's a 125 millimeter barrel. And let me just get this in screen. I really like the way this turned out. It took a little bit of work to do it. Let's see if it'll focus. Come on, bugger. Come on, you bugger, focus. Is that barrel? That was a solid chunk of plastic. And you just carefully drill it out, and it turned out really nice. And this whole barrel, I know I was bitching and moaning earlier, guys, when I did the inbox review of this. Oh, it's a 2-piece barrel, blah, wah, 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 wah. But you know what? It filled really nice, and it turned out to be really a nice barrel. So guys, here's a tip. Don't bother going out and trying to find a source aftermarket barrel. Just spend a little bit of time with some putty and some sandpaper. It looks awesome. It turned out really nice. Periscopes were nice. They do give you clear periscopes, but I've gotten to a point where, you know what, I just paint them blue anyway. I don't worry about them. And as you can see, if you don't know what these are periscopes, but you'd never know it. You just put a little piece of photo etch, and there's a scribe mark in there, but those are photo etch. Those are vision blocks in the turret, cast right in the turret. At least that's what one of my sources said. There's not much on the net about this. One fellow I was reading from Sweden, I think it might have been, I don't know if it was Swedish IPMS, but they were thinking that those were probably vision blocks for side vision. Although it certainly would seem to, and there's also a couple more on this side. It would just make sense to have some side lateral vision for the gunner and the commander. But anyway, guys, there it is. Turned out very nice. It's a good kit. It's recommended. Highly recommended, actually, for the price. Alright guys, take care. Get some modeling done. Get outside. Later.